I've been involved with CSN for about a year now. I became involved really because I was in a job where I wasn't getting much satisfaction.
I started because I heard an ABC radio interview with a client, a woman client, and I just felt that I wanted to do something to help this lady.
I watched a Mardi Gras and saw CSN volunteers, and I was just impressed with their enthusiasm. I loved the outfits they were wearing. They were wearing bumblebee outfits, and from that moment on I really thought I'd like to do this.
I wanted to do something that was really practical and hands-on. I'd been doing volunteer work with another organisation involved in sort of human rights sorts of issues. A lot of committee work, lots of paperwork, which was really, it was good things to do, but I wanted to be more hands-on.
I'd heard about it from someone who'd also trained in the middle 80s, and he really encouraged me to have a look at it. It was a really good thing to do. I was at a bit of a loose end at the time and thought that volunteering in this way and with this community would be something worthwhile.
Well, as a fortnight, I just didn't think it was a big deal. So that's what led to me looking for organisations, and ACON and CSN was the first ones that came up on the Volunteers Australia list, and I thought, okay, well, let's give it a go.
The sort of work that would have been involved for volunteers back then, I think it was a different CSN, things were quite different then, and there was a large element of palliative care. And the shifts, often for myself, in the beginning, I had quite a few clients, and by that I mean I would see someone once or twice and then they would pass away.
I know, in fact, my very first client, Philip, his name was, he was the first client that died that I had cared for. So he didn't have anyone else. His parents had pretty much disowned him. He was from the country. 2 of us were present at his death. He was actively dying for about 3 days, so people were coming and going all the time into his unit.
I've been with a client while he died, and I've seen the lead up, which to me is the very bad time, when people are confused sometimes and maybe not in as much physical pain, but in that emotionally frustrating period.
Relief in the end, because, they were unconscious or semi-comatised and things like that, and, it's horrible what they went through.
I was in a fairly large group, and there were about, I think, 15 of us from all sorts of backgrounds, and we spent, I think it was almost 3 or 4 days, in the training, intensive training, discussing the issues, workshopping, hearing from clients. So the training was also, it was a good experience.
The training course then was over about 5 days, 2 weekends, and I think an evening. And the training course is completely different from today, where you had to do, obviously, active listening, being reliant on somebody either blind. We had to do palliative care, massage. It was endless. We had a couple of practical experiences that we did, and after the training we had support group, like with the facilitators and the people I trained with, for 6 months.
And what was interesting, seeing different people from different walks of life, people who are gay, people who are straight, girls as well. And interesting also to note that some of them have really never yet met someone who's HIV. For some it has been their first experience.
A typical shift would be 3 hours, maybe.
If one was transporting, it would be transporting, maybe staying with a person and then driving them back.
My client is actually blind. I take him to the shops and do his weekly or fortnightly, in my case, shopping. But we can spend maybe between an hour to 3 hours to do that.
It's a general, 2 hours every two weeks. General mopping, vacuuming, a little washing up, maybe some laundry folding or bed making.
Ranging from some housework, some blitz cleans, and mostly taking the client, because I have the use of a car, I've been able to take clients shopping, medical appointments.
I guess for me it's a bit of an irony that the two things in life I hate doing are cleaning and shopping. And that's what I'm doing. But when you're doing it for someone else, I actually really enjoy it.
One time he gave me a bottle opener and sent me down the corridor where there was a communal washing room with the washing machine and the dryers, and asked me if I could fix the tumble dryer. I mean, I didn't even know what was the matter with the tumble dryer, but I went down there and banged around a bit and came back, and he said, yeah, that would be okay then.
Sometimes I've been with clients who just really can't remember many things, and so they either forgot you were coming, or and even if you've called the day before, their short-term memory or their memory's been affected, and so they may say, oh, sorry, I forgot you were coming.
Appearing at the front door with no clothes on because he just wanted to simply just test me out to see how I'd be on the day.
It's certainly lots of humour, lots of funny times, lots of tears too, I guess, and they're very poignant moments that you remember, that become part of who you are.
He was so frail and really, really very slim, and had, was wasting a lot. And he had all the heaters on, and he had the oven on, and it was absolutely sweltering. Well, I'd never really come across that before, and I was like, God, what's going on in here? It is so hot. But he was very, very unwell and really just trying to keep warm.
When combination therapies became quite common, I think there was definitely a change in clients' health. They were able to maintain their health a lot better.
In the early days, it was more about helping people to die well and helping people to die at home rather than in a hospital. Whereas now, with new treatments, people are living longer. But there are other complications as a result of that.
I think people are maintaining their wellness much better, although I'm also aware that for a number of people, their options around treatment are narrowing at the moment, and there are still people who are sick and who will die.
Outside, it's a great experience. To get something from someone is a different thing, but to give what you can give as a carer cannot be described in words. Two words, thank you, just means so much more than anyone else would say that to you.
You meet a great group of people. It's nice to feel that you're making some type of contribution, making some type of difference.
You'll be proud of yourself and you'll learn a lot. I've got so much respect for our carers. I think they're wonderful people.